Hi there, Driveway DIY here. Just going to do a top 10 DIY job list for your car and what the normal guy on the street who's got a car, how can you look after his car, what the best DIY jobs are without anything getting too messy or risk of upsetting the car, or with a bit of basic knowledge what you can do on your car to save you a lot of money in the long term, or a lot of money sort of there and then by doing these jobs yourself. So I'm going to go straight into it. So first job on the list is tyre pressures, or tyres, rotating of tyres. That's number one for me. If you can do those jobs, you're going to save your tyres, petrol, fuel, the ability to change a tyre on the roadside, all that sort of thing. Will get you out some sort of tricky situation, plus you can have a real good look at your tyres at the same time, and save you money in the long run. Definitely a job we're doing as a DIYer, or learning to do that at the roadside. I know some of the cars these days are a bit difficult because they've got inflation kits and stuff, but the basic car should have a spare, and it's really worth knowing how to change that. Number two on the list is screen wash. Very accessible for your normal driver. When it runs out, get out there and change it, especially the winter, understanding the mixtures and how to stop it from freezing on a real harsh winter's day, and just keeping it topped up really for when you're driving on motorways and places like that, and you know, never running dry, and always keeping the mixture nice, and so you've got a nice clean windscreen. Definitely worth understanding that one. Three is wipers, windscreen wipers. Not letting them go too far, making sure that they're cleaned properly, understanding how to change them. Most wipers come with directions and instructions on how to change them, and probably recommending you change them once a year, especially before the winter, so they're functioning, not hanging off at the end. In England as well, this is an MOT failure if they're not working properly, or if the rubber's half missing or dangling off. Very simple to change. A lot of them, I mean, these are basic Bosch windscreen wipers. Definitely a lot of the new ones these days are even easier to change, so just pulling them off. Definitely worth changing them all the way around the car once a year. You know, you can get them really cheap in places as well, so it's definitely, if you can get a good deal on them, buying a few at a time and making sure you got enough for the family fleet, and keep on top of them. Definitely a good DIY job, that one is. Number four, lights. Definitely worth, that's a great DIY job. I know some of them are difficult to get at, but if you understand how to get at them and where to jack your car up and where there are entrances and what to do. I mean, I know some cars you have to take the bumper off and stuff like that, but for your basic car, it is a basic job. Basically just getting your hand down the back, putting a rubber back, changing your bulb. Same on the back as well. That's one for the DIY. I mean, some garages might do it for free, some might charge you 20 quid, but if you can do this sort of stuff yourself, pick up the right bulbs from the local motor factors, and there you go. Just keep an eye on them. If you're not sure how to check them, park your car up against the wall and see the difference between them, between the lights, see if one's dim and one's bright, and do that one yourself. Very, very easy. Front, back, anything inside, side indicators, side lights, any bulbs within the car, definitely worth doing. Number five, grease up your locks. Keep these locks going. WD-40. Do that once a year or twice a year, all the way around the car. Definitely a good job, stops them freezing up, keeps your locks in tip-top condition so they don't break or lose your key in it, rust up, seize, whatever you want to call it. Keep them going. Just a tin of WD-40 or anti-seize or whatever you want to call it. Keeps them going and keeps them in tip-top condition. Definitely a good DIY job. Do your hinges and things like that as well around the car. Anything that's that moves and you can get out, especially down here, just whack some of that in. Keeps them going, stops them from seizing up, rusting and breaking, costing you money in the long term. Definitely one for the DIY list. Number six, now we're getting down the list. Now they're probably going to get a little bit taxing for some DIYs. Change your oil. Do it yourself, you know it's been done properly. Use the right stuff, right filter, right oil, right levels, as long as you're safe doing it and you understand what you've got to do. Definitely worth doing that one yourself. Twice a year I do mine. Keeps your engine tip-top condition, especially if you're using the correct oil. If you're not sure, contact your local factories or dealers and they'll tell you exactly which one to use. And do that one yourself. Once you've done a couple of them, you'll be doing it all the time. You'll be well happy, quite proud of yourself as a DIYer. So yeah, change your oil. Number 7, change your coolant. Another one for the DIY, getting a bit more taxing now, different for different cars, but pretty much a lot of the time concept's the same. You change your thermostat at the same time. Get a bit of research on this one. If you're going to take this one on, make sure you know how to bleed the systems out, how to seal the systems, make sure you got your mixtures right, using the right coolant as well. I mean, on this one, this Honda, you can only use Honda coolant type 2, because anything else will probably react with the metals that they use inside and cause gumming up or whatever. If you do that once every 2 years or 3 years, you should be able to keep your coolant system tip top, and it stops it gumming up and freezing up in the winters. Yeah, but make sure you research that one first. Number 8, battery. Big winter problem. Usually go flat in the winter when you've got an old battery in there. I know the new cars, some of them require software updates and things like that, but if you're a box standard car, change it yourself. Go and get yourself either booster it to get it going again if it's gone flat, but if it goes flat again, change it yourself. Go down and get a battery. Make sure you take the negative off first and then the positive. Don't touch them if you can help it, because it might be a bad day for you. But change your own battery, definitely save you some money. You can do that on your driveway easy enough, and you get back on the road as quick as possible without waiting for recovery. Very good DIY job. Probably comes higher than list on oil and coolant, but if you can do that yourself, then very good on you. Fix your own rust. Definitely a good one for the DIY. Just requires a bit of scraping, wire brush, bit of primer, bit of paint. Get the right colour paint, and don't let it go too far. Like on this one, I need to do this, but it's only surface rust and I can do that. Just pull the trim off and scrape it down, prepare it, primer it, do what you have to do. Research it first before you do it, but definitely if you can do the ones underneath as well, even better. Make sure you keeps your car lasting longer and less chance of failing or an inspection or an MOT. Depends where you are. Definitely a good one for the DIY. Probably the last one. There's probably more out there that you can do, but these are my 10 that I find effective as a DIYer. Fixing your own dents. I'm not on about filling them and repainting them and all that. If you've got a big cold dent, it goes down, it pushes in, get a sink plunger or a puller kit or whatever, slide hammer and pull it out. A lot of time you can do it yourself, rather than taking it down to a body shop and them charging you to do it. I've done a few times, probably done about 20 cold dents where I've just pulled them out and they've always been fine. Some people say to warm them up a little bit as well. Same on a bumper. You can get a hairdryer in a bumper and sometimes pull on a plastic bumper and pull the dent out as well. Saves you, keeps you out of the body shop. Definitely a job you could probably do yourself. And that's about it. That's my top 10 of DIYs jobs on a car. I'll probably go away this time next year and come back with a completely different 10, but that's for me at the moment off the top of my head. Definitely worth a good one for your DIYs who are not sure where to start in the car. Probably other ones that I probably think of is air filters, fuel filters if you fancy it, changing your brake fluid, things like that. But as a starter for 10, that's pretty much where I'd go with it. Hopefully as you DIYs, hopefully this helps you. Thanks for watching. Look forward to some feedback.